Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today the update notes for update 11.7 have been released. This is the Puerto Rico Dockyard on top of the final release of the Sevastopol. We're finally getting this ship. It's been, I think, almost well over a year almost since they announced this thing, and we're finally getting her in game. That review on my channel will go up as soon as I can get that ship into my port. We'll talk about that when we get to her section. But yes, there's a lot coming in this update. We're getting one ship that is returning, and then 3 new premiums in this update as well. So we're going to go through this update article, and if you want to check out the timeline down below, there should be chapters down there, so you can go ahead and just find whatever you're looking for, or if you're just interested in the whole thing, sit around. We'll go through the highlights of this update. We aren't going to go over every single tiny change in this update. Again, this is just a overview of the highlights of this update. If you want to check out the article, which I actually highly encourage everyone to do that, because in this article there's a link that will get you 1 day's worth of premium time for free, and that's always wonderful. So it's hidden somewhere, randomly placed in the article for each different viewer. So find that link, get your 24 hours of premium time. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get going. I will throw any relevant images or artwork up on screen as we go through them. So, they note, Update 11.7 Puerto Rico Dockyard. Update 11.7 brings the following new features: the Dockyard, the 200th anniversary of Brazil's independence, Happy Independence Day, Brazil, battle camera improvements, part 2 of the British battleship early access event, clan battles, Brawl, a themed web campaign, submarine tweaks, matchmaker changes, technical updates, armory changes, content addition and changes, and other changes and improvements. In Update 11.7, you will have another opportunity to build Puerto Rico at the Dockyard. The ship is armed with 12 305mm guns placed in 4 turrets. The cruiser's AP shells have good damage dealing capabilities and enhanced ricochet angles. The ship also has a large HP pool and good armor protection. Rules of this dockyard. The construction process comprises 40 phases. The shipbuilding phases can be completed by progressing through dockyard combat missions, or by spending 1,750 doubloons to pass through each phase. Combat missions will be available to complete during updates 11.7 and 11.8, as well as the first 3 weeks of update 11.9, so all in all, that's a little over 13 weeks to do this dockyard. The dockyard will remain available until the start of update 11.10, so actually, now that they throw that in there, you have 13 weeks to do the combat missions, and then you have the rest of 11.9, so you have literally 15 weeks to do this dockyard. So you have 2 weeks to decide if you want to spend money on the event and complete your Puerto Rico. In total, you can progress through 34 out of the 40 shipbuilding phases by completing dockyard combat missions. Upon completion of the construction process, you will receive Puerto Rico and the ceremonial permanent camouflage with a port slot, commander with 10 skill points, and a commemorative flag. If you complete the construction of Puerto Rico by spending doubloons, make sure to keep progressing through dockyard combat missions. Completing each shipbuilding phase will bring you 250 still. If you already have Puerto Rico, building her in the dockyard will bring you a Puerto Rico certificate, which can be exchanged in the Armory for one of the following rewards: 35,000 doubloons, 33,000 steel, or 63,000 research points. If you do not exchange your Puerto Rico certificate for one of the listed resources before the release of update 11.10, you will automatically receive 35,000 doubloons when the update goes live. So for those of us that got Puerto Rico the first time around, if we go through the dockyard again and build her again, we get enough of any resource to get any tier 10 resource ship in the game. And if you're wondering, well, what happened to the coal? Well, you see, the 33,000 still can be converted into 330,000 coal. I think they were only offering like 290,000 coal beforehand, or I think it was however much the Nushishima cost, because that's the most expensive coal ship in the game. But if you would choose the 33,000 still, then you could turn around and exchange that for more coal, for 330,000 coal, more coal than was being offered anyway, so they just removed that option altogether, so you can just take the steel and get more coal. I will be releasing an updated review video for Puerto Rico if you're wondering if she's worth getting in today's World of Warships, probably the day after the Sevastopol review, so keep your eyes out for that. Alright, so again, I think it's very good that they're bringing back the Puerto Rico and correcting that mistake that they did when they first introduced her into the game and releasing her in the new style of Dockyard, which is much fairer to the player, much easier to do than the original Puerto Rico Dockyard. And there is, I think, in the second devlog they released about the Puerto Rico, you can see all the combat missions in there, and I went through them. None of them are really challenging until you get to like the final set of missions. Again, nothing that your average Joe definitely couldn't do in 13 weeks that you were allotted to grind out this Dockyard. So if I can find the link for that, I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in a comment down below if you want to check out the Puerto Rico Dockyard missions. But overall, again, very cool that they're going back and correcting that mistake. Alright, so 200th anniversary of Brazil's independence. So they say the following items have been added to the game to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Brazil's independence. We have the Rio de Janeiro, which is the original Agincourt before the British said, hey, we need that. White Swan permanent camouflage for Rio de Janeiro with a unique horn sound. That'll be interesting. The Port of Rio de Janeiro. Waves of Copacabana expendable camouflage. Brazil Independence Day commemorative flag. And there is the Copacabana permanent camo. And there's the, I believe that's the White Swan permanent camo down there as well. That looks fancy. Alright. The Rio de Janeiro is a unique 7-turret dreadnought battleship that was built in Great Britain during the early 1910s for the Brazilian Navy. The ship is armed with 14 305mm main guns with good accuracy and a solid salvo weight. Her HE shells are capable of dealing high damage and have a good armored penetration capabilities and chances of causing fire. However, her AP shells are weaker than those of most battleships of the same tier. The ship has a decent HP pool, but she is slow and lacks A defenses. The battleship will become available in early September in exchange for 53,000 coal. Cool. Okay, so Rio de Janeiro is, I believe, a more accurate Agincourt and doesn't have the ability to build into... Well, you can build into the secondaries, but the secondaries aren't as good as the Agincourt. It's more of a main battery battleship. It still retains the... Well, I think it actually has better HE than the Agincourt, but again, any 14-gun battleship with mildly decent HE is going to be a good HE battleship. And here are some images from the Rio de Janeiro port. Looks very nice, and I cannot wait to see this on my machine running in 4K. Alright, now we finally get the battle camera improvements that we've heard a bit about. They state the battle camera has been improved in update 11.7 to make gameplay experience more comfortable. We've changed the default base viewing angle in the port and in battle. The camera is now focused more directly on the player's ship. This change does not affect the binocular mode. You also have the option to set up the camera yourself. For example, to return the field of view parameter to the values update 11.6, you need to set the corresponding slider in the setting window to 50. The camera height parameter differs from ship to ship, so it's impossible to find a universal value that would make the camera position completely identical to how it was in update 11.6. However, you can set the camera height to 2 to get a similar camera position. Aiming when using the spotting aircraft has changed to make it more comfortable. We offer you 2 camera positions to choose from. Lower position, similar to the camera position without spotting aircraft. Upper position, similar to the current camera position when using spotting aircraft. You can switch positions in binocular mode by pressing the C key. Added in new settings. Field of view allows you to set the viewing angle yourself. The setting does not affect the binocular mode. Camera height allows you to raise and zoom the camera out from a ship. The camera viewing angle in the torpedo launcher view is now similar to that in the main battery view. Transitioning between them has become smoother. The torpedo launcher viewing angle has been expanded to make it easier to assess the battle situation. Added animation of the camera zooming out from a ship during the countdown before the start of the battle. That sounds neat. The camera now moves more smoothly when tracking flying shells. Shell models have also been updated. When changing the weapon type, shell type, or torpedo cone width, the camera returns to the ship. Improve the camera performance in replays. Added the ability to track shells. Added the ability to attach a free camera to a squadron, similar to attaching it to a ship via the Control B combination. Okay, so overall, first off, out the gate, good change here. It adds a very, very, very nice pickup in the, what was I about to say? In the quality of life of the game. The ability to customize your camera And you can, again, like they say, pretty much set it to what we have right now if you don't like the new camera system. I haven't tried it out. It's been on the PTS server. I just never got on there and tried it out for myself just yet. But from what I've seen and heard, it's essentially going to the camera position that they have in Legends on console. So if you like that camera position, you're probably like the new default one. But again, you can go ahead and change it yourself and tweak it and get it back to the current values that we have in the game right now. Also, I think it's add the ability to attach a free camera to a squadron. The reason why in the Hunt for Bismarck cinematic documentary that we did, I used War Thunder is because you couldn't do that in World Warships. You could only follow the carrier player's camera, which is right behind the squadron. You can't move the camera around like you can on ships. Like I can attach a camera to, let's say, the Bismarck, and I can get the camera to where it's positioned on the deck, looking up at the guns, on the bridge, looking out at the sea. But you can't do that with squadrons. You only have like the default chase camera viewer. But now you could do that. So a little late wargaming if you're trying to add that in for that. But for the next one, it'll be in there. Although I probably would still just keep using War Thunder because the plane models are so much higher quality in War Thunder than they are in World Warships. Alright, British Battleship Part 2 event is continuing. The ships aren't being fully released just yet. I remember back when these events were 2 patches and not 3. Or they'd be in early access for a patch and they would come out on the second patch. But I guess Wargaming really wants you to pay those 20k dubs for that St. Vincent, huh? Alright, Clan Battles is starting on Wednesday, August 17th and running through October 2nd. There's no CVs, no more than 1 battleship per team, no more than 3 mercenaries per division. Brawls are also starting as well, and round 1 of Brawls begins on Monday the 15th of August and goes through August 22nd. And it's 12v12 on Tier 6 battleships, some Jutland action going on there. The second round is on August 22nd and goes through August 29th. 4v4 on Tier 4 ships, proper memeage. And then the third round is August 29th through September 5th, and that's 3v3 with Tier 4 ships. More memeage. I like how they're pushing these Brawls into more of a meme direction. I think that just makes it funner all around. And again, like, who cares? It's Brawls. But some people still go super hard in it, even though the rewards are just like not that great. It's just like some coal normally, but yeah. Alright, themed web campaign. I didn't hear anything about this, or I don't remember them mentioning it in a dev blog or anything, but yes, this themed themed web campaign. God, I get my dev blogs and my campaigns mixed up. Is how you're going to get Hampshire. No, it's Hampshire. That's how you're supposed to say it. A themed web campaign begins 2 weeks after 11.7 goes live. Players will have to choose a team and travel the world to uncover the secrets of navigators, ancient sailors, and explorers of the depths. The reward for completing the campaign is a temporary resource, Navigator tokens. You can spend these tokens in the army to purchase special random bundles. Hampshire is the most valuable prize within them, as well as her Cloud Privateer themed permanent camouflage. I don't think you get the well, I hope you get the economic bonus that goes with this camo, but we'll see. Hampshire is a heavy cruiser that embodies the development of the Surrey class. The ship is armed with 10 230mm main battery guns that fire only AP shells with enhanced ricochet angles. This feature allows the cruiser to effectively deal with any opponent. The ship performs best in medium and long-range encounters. Hampshire is also armed with 2 quad-tube torpedo launchers with 2x2 launching capabilities and has special engine settings like Cruiser Minotaur. She can quickly gain speed, but she stops like a polar bear on ice. I guess like a buffalo on ice would be probably a better comparison there. She's equipped with the Hydroacoustic Search and DFAA consumables in different slots, and she has a choice between fighter and spotter in a single slot. During the campaign, Hampshire will also be available in Admiral bundles in the premium shop, and after that, she will become available for purchase early next year. Full details about the web campaign will be revealed in a dedicated article. So, pretty cool. You have a free way that you can get the Hampshire by participating in the web campaign. I would like it if they would clarify whether or not you'll get enough tokens in the campaign to get the Hampshire, or if it's just going to kind of be like you can get these tokens, you might have a chance of getting the ship. If you don't get it, you're going to have to wait until she gets put on sale next year for whatever, or you have to buy her in the Admiral shop. I don't know. I wish they would clarify that. Alright, there's some changes coming to Matchmaker. After the release of Update 11.5, we received feedback that there were more incomplete or asymmetrical battles in terms of types and tiers. This was because of additional matchmaker restrictions that were added in the update. To improve the gaming experience and quality of matched battles, we have changed the existing limit on the total number of destroyers and submarines. Previously, after 40 seconds of waiting time spent by the first player in the queue, there could be a total of 5 of them in a team, a maximum of 4 destroyers or 2 submarines. The waiting time before reaching this limit is now 25 seconds. Subsequent restrictions have also been made less strict, so now the matchmaker is less strict, and those walls to limit the amount of DDs and subs to 1 submarine, or I think it was 3 DDs or 2 DDs, is now gone after 25 seconds instead of 40 seconds. And there has been some very odd matches. I did a video on some of the kookier matches I had where it was like 2 Super CVs and like 4 DDs in a game. It was pretty weird, and I did really notice an uptick in these battles recently, so it might be because of that. So I guess we'll see how that goes. So yeah, they're starting to tweak at the matchmaker now. Now, it doesn't sound that great. Obviously, take it at face value. It sounds like there's going to be more subs and more DDs in games. If you don't like those classes or don't like playing against a large number of those classes, sure, it does sound pretty bad, but we'll see where it goes. Who knows? It might fix a lot of the issues that we're having right now, but again, we shall see. So the game's getting more purtier with some technical updates. Shadow improvements. In Update 11.7, we have improved the in-game shadow rendering for all presets. We've improved the level of detail for the high and maximum presets and added a new one, very high. The game now requires full support for DirectX 11 shader model 5.0 to run. The minimum system requirements are available here. They've also worked on some UI improvements for the port, of all things. We've completely reworked the sound interface in the port. Each button now has its own unique click and hover sound based on its function, shape, and animation. Special sound effects have been added to complete various actions, changing camos, mounting flags, switching armor layers, changing an emblem or patch, interacting with collections, switching toggle switches in the settings window, updated ship changing and port loading sounds, as well as background sound effects when switching port tabs. Okay, it sounds good, Wargaming, but can you update the actual, visual part of the UI? It looks like it's from 2010, which is, I know when this game started to enter development, but, come on, give us a more up-to-date look port UI. It'll sound better now, of course, but can we please make it look and work better? And finally, all the way down here at the bottom, the Sevastopol, a Project 69I large artillery ship with technical characteristics close to high speed, small battleships will become available in the Armory when the update goes live. The ship is armed with 6 380mm guns that take a long time to reload but fire AP shells that have enhanced ricochet angles and a reduced fuse delay. Soviet AP. The concept of the cruiser involves conducting surprise attacks utilizing her low detectability and accurate guns and then make a quick retreat. The ship cannot endure enemy fire for long, and her large size makes her an easy target, but if you choose the right moment to retreat, she can show good results in battle thanks to engine boost, fast damage con, and a variant of repair party that's similar to the British cruiser variant. The ship will be available for 58,000 Research Bureau points. Alright, so the Sevastopol, finally this thing's coming out. I don't know what to expect from this ship. I mean, besides what we've been told here in game. I know the CCs, I think today actually started to release their videos for it, but I'm not a CC, so I don't have early access to these ships. But this is actually what Kronstadt was supposed to be. It was a cruiser that the Germans and the Soviets were working on before the war broke out, and obviously once Barbarossa took off, that joint venture was thrown out the window, and the Kronstadt we have in-game was the planned completion of Kronstadt by the Soviets with Soviet-made guns rather than German-made 15-inch guns. But this is what Kronstadt's supposed to be, which is very cool. I'm glad that we're seeing the, what if it was actually completed version of Kronstadt in-game. And I'm glad they also seem to have found a way to make it different from the Siegfried, which is already an excellent 15-inch gun cruiser at tier 10. Now, the Sevastopol does have the Kronstadt hull, and to my knowledge, again, I don't have this ship, I haven't been able to look at it in port or anything, it is the exact same hull as the Kronstadt, which at tier 9 is great because it has a lot of hit points for a tier 9 cruiser, but the armor isn't really that great, especially compared to like a lot of other large Soviet cruisers and such, like the Stalingrad. So we'll see how she does in game. I think she's gonna be a little squishy, but if they really did her justice with the engine boost and her top speed, she probably will be a pretty good ambush ship from what we've seen here. But again, I'll get to work. Actually, when we get done making this video, I'm going to go start regrinding the Rugamo line real quick, the 4 or 5 times it takes to get the 58,000 Research Bureau points. But yeah, I'm very excited that Sevastopol is finally getting released. Alright guys, that's it with the major content addition and changes coming up to 11.7. If you want to see all of the little details about the other changes and such, make sure to check out the article, which is linked in the description down below. We're going to go ahead and end that here. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be, so hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Have a wonderful week. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful week again. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.